Beautiful.
You like it?
When I bought the smaller one, because I thought it was more handy, I didn't realize I don't have
That's the difference.
numbers.
Yes.
What are those numbers referred to, by the way? The one on the screen?
Every 5 lines there's a number.
Yeah, what is it referred to? Verse number?
Creator of things in his all-knowing sleep. His slumber is an almightiness in sleep. Awake, he is the eternal and supreme. Above one beholding place of the infinite, its omniscient and omnipotent both, its immovable silence, absolute and alone. He sees the wideness of a boundless sky. He sees the passion of a shoreless earth. He sees the burning of worldwide sun. To look upon each other, soul, soul, soul. Then, like an anthem, formed the heart's air. A voice soared up, whose magic sound moved the abundant movement of the earth to songs of rapture and her kind to spirit song. The smile came piping out in her wide eyes. Then, with a smile, always as noonday heaven, the Godhead of the vision wonderful. How shall earth's nature and man's nature rise to the celestial heavens, yet earth divine? O friend, withdraw into thy luminous self, always return to thy original night. On a sheer summit above thought and word, but Savitri answered to the ancient God, in vain thou temptest with solitary grief, to spirit same doubt of a suffering world. Since God has made earth, earth must make in her God. What within her life, she must hurry. But the Lord answered to the woman's heart, O living power of the incarnation, the light of God and never of great word, to the infinity where no word can reach. Ascend, O soul, into thy timeless self. Choose destiny's curve and stamp thy wheels on them.
On time.
In an ineffable world, she lived fulfilled, an energy all the time infinite, in a measureless reality she dwelt. Around her, some tremendous spirit lived, mysterious flow around the melting curve, and in the phantom of every space, there was a voice unheard by ears that cried, true spirit, thy supreme choice, not given again, except, O music witness of notes, O stream, wide breaking of thy channel bank, and silently the woman's heart replied, thy peace, O Lord, a boon within the deep, amid the war and run of wild time, for the magnificent soul of man on earth. Limitless, like ocean, around the lonely eye, a second time, the eternal eye, so wide open are the ineffable gates and fun. Immeasurable, the woman's nature spoke. Thy oneness, Lord, in many approaching hearts, a certain time swelled the great admonishing call. I spied upon the pursuit of my will, the somber scene was answer to the voice, and passionately the woman's heart replied, thy energy, Lord, to seize on woman and man, to take all seeds and creatures in their grief, and gather them into a father's arms.
Shall I go ahead? I think so. We're reading in Book 11, the Book of Everlasting Day. And we've actually reached the climax of this part of the poem, where Savitri is offered the choice to choose for the future of humanity. Several times she's offered the choice and she replies. I'm on page 697 at line 944.
Page 687, 10 pages before.
I was listening to what Mother had read already.
But did she go beyond what you read last time?
Right, okay. So, 87.
Line 601.
You got the place?
Yes.
Yes. Her words failed, lost in thought's immensities, which seized them at the limits of their cry and hid their meaning in the distances that stir to more than ever speech has won, and from the unthinkable end of all our thought, and the ineffable from whom all words come. So there's a break. And the Godhead speaks again. Page 688, just after the break. Then, with a smile, august as noonday heavens, the Godhead of the vision wonderful. He says, how shall earth nature and man's nature rise to the celestial levels, yet earth abide? Heaven and earth towards each other gaze across a gulf that few can cross, none touch, arriving through a vague ethereal mist, out of which all things form that move in space, the shore that all can see but never reach. Heaven's light visits sometimes the mind of earth. Its thoughts burn in her sky like lonely stars. In her heart there move celestial seekings, soft and beautiful like fluttering wings of birds, visions of joy that she can never win, traverse the fading mirror of her dreams. Faint seeds of light and bliss bear sorrowful flowers. Faint harmonies caught from a half-heard song fall, swooning, mid the wandering voices jar. Foam from the tossing luminous seas, where dwells the beautiful and far delight of gods. Raptures unknown, a miracled happiness thrill her and pass half-shaped in mind and sense. Above her little finite steps, she feels, careless of knot or pause, worlds which weave out a strange perfection beyond law and rule. A universe of self-found felicity. An inexpressible rhythm of timeless beats. The many movemented heartbeats of the one. Magic of the boundless harmonies of self. Order of the freedom of the infinite. The wonder plastics of the absolute. There is the all-truth, and there the timeless bliss. But hers are fragments of a star-lost gleam. Hers are but careless visits of the gods. They are a light that fails, a word soon hushed, and nothing they mean can stay for long on earth. There are high glimpses, not the lasting sight. A few can climb to an unperishing sun, or live on the edges of the mystic moon, and channel to earth mind the wizard ray. The heroes and the demigods are few, to whom the close immortal voices speak. And to their acts the heavenly clan are near. Few are the silences in which truth is heard, unveiling the timeless utterance in her deeps. Few are the splendid moments of the seers. Heaven's call is rare, rarer the heart that heeds. The doors of light are sealed to common mind, and earth's needs nail to earth the human mass. Only in an uplifting hour of stress men answer to the touch of greater things. Or, raised by some strong hand to breathe heaven air, they slide back to the mind, the mud from which they climbed. In the mud of which they are made, whose law they know, they joy in safe return to a friendly base. And though something in them weeps for glory lost and greatness murdered, they accept their fall. To be the common man, they think the best. To live as others live is their delight. For most are built on nature's early plan and owe small debt to a superior plane. The human average is their level pitch, a thinking animal's material range. In the long, ever-mounting hierarchy, in the stark economy of cosmic life, each creature to its appointed task and place is bound by his nature's form, his spirit's force. If this were easily disturbed, it would break the settled balance of created things. The perpetual order of the universe would tremble, and a gap yawn in woven fate. If men were not, and all were brilliant gods, the mediating stair would then be lost, by which the spirit awake in matter winds, accepting the circuits of the middle way, by heavy toil and slow aeonic steps, reaching the bright, miraculous fringe of God into the glory of the Oversoul. My will, my call is there in men and things, but the inconscient lies at the world's grey back and draws to its breast of night and death and sleep, imprisoned in its dark and dumb abyss, a little consciousness it lets escape. But jealous of the growing light, holds back close to the obscure edges of its cave, as if a fond, ignorant mother kept her child tied to her apron strings of nescience. The inconscient could not read without man's mind the mystery of the world its sleep has made. Man is its key to unlock a conscious door. But still it holds him dangled in its grasp. It draws its giant circle round his thoughts. It shuts his heart to the supernal light. A high and dazzling limit shines above. A black and blinding border rules below. His mind is closed between two firmaments. He seeks through words and images the truth, and poring on surfaces and brute outsides, or dipping cautious feet in shallow seas, Even his knowledge is an ignorance. He is barred out from his own inner depths. He cannot look on the face of the unknown. How shall he see with the omniscient's eyes? How shall he will with the omnipotent's force? Oh, too compassionate and eager dawn, leave to the circling eon's tardy pace and to the working of the inconscient will, leave to its imperfect light the earthly race. All shall be done by the long act of time. Although the race is bound by its own kind, the soul in man is greater than his fate. Above the wash and surge of time and space, disengaging from the cosmic commonalty by which all life is kin in grief and joy, delivered from the universal law, the sunlight, single and transcendent spirit can blaze its way through the mind's barrier wall and burn alone in the eternal sky, inhabitant of a wide and endless calm. O flame, withdraw into thy luminous self, or else return to thy original might on a seer summit above thought and world. Partner of my unhoured eternity, be one with the infinity of my power, for thou art the world mother and the bride. Out of the fruitless yearning of earth's life, out of her feeble, unconvincing dream, recovering wings that cross infinity, pass back into the power from which thou camest. To that thou canst uplift thy formless flight. Thy heart can rise from its unsatisfied beats and feel the immortal and spiritual joy of a soul that never lost felicity. Lift up the fallen heart of love, which flutters, cast down desire's abyss into the gulfs. Forever rescued out of nature's shapes, discover what the aimless cycles want. There, intertwined with all thy life has meant, here vainly sought in a terrestrial form, break into eternity thy mortal mold. Melt, lightning, into thy invisible flame. Clasp, ocean, deep into thyself thy wave, happy forever in the embosoming surge. Grow one with the still passion of the depths. Then shalt thou know the lover and the loved, leaving the limits dividing him and thee. Receive him into boundless Savitri. Lose thyself into infinite Satyavan. O miracle, where thou beganst, there cease. Joel, you'll continue.
The Savitri answered to the radiant God, in vain thou temptest with solitary bliss. Two spirits saved out of a suffering world, my soul and his indissolubly linked in the one task for which all lives were born, to raise the world to God in deathless light, to bring God down to the world on earth we came, to change the earthly life to life divine. I keep my will to save the world and men, even the charms of thy alluring voice, O blissful Godhead, cannot seize and snare. I sacrifice no earth to happier worlds, because there dwelt the Eternal's vast idea and his dynamic will in men and things. So only could the enormous scene begin. Whence came this profitless wilderness of stars, this mighty barren wheeling of the suns? Who made the soul of future life in time, planted a purpose and a hope in the heart, set nature to huge and meaningless task, or planned her million-eon efforts waste? What force condemned to birth and death and tears these conscious creatures crawling on the globe? If earth can look up to the light of heaven and hear an answer to her lonely cry, not vain their meeting, nor heaven's touch a snare. If thou and I are true, the world is true. Although thou hide thyself behind thy works, to be is not a senseless paradox. Since God has made earth, earth must make in her God. What hides within her breast, she must reveal. I claim thee for the world that thou hast made. If man lives bound by his humanity, if he is tied forever to his pain, let a greater being then arise from men, the superhuman with the eternal mate, and the immortal shine through earthly forms. Else were creation vain, and this great world a nothing that in time's moments seems to be. But I have seen through the insentient mask. I have felt a secret spirit stir in things, carrying the body of the growing God. It looks through veiling forms at veilless truth. It pushes back the curtains of the gods. It climbs towards its own eternity.
Purnam?
But the God answered to the woman's heart, O living power of the incarnate Word, All that the Spirit has dreamed, thou canst create. Thou art the force by which I made the worlds. Thou art my vision and my will and voice. But knowledge too is thine. The world plan thou knowest, and the tardy process of the pace of time. In the impetuous drive of thy heart of flame, in thy passion to deliver man and earth, indignant at the impediments of time, and the slow evolution's sluggered steps, lead not the spirit in an ignorant world to dare too soon the adventure of the light, pushing the bound and slumbering God and man, awaken mid the ineffable silences into endless stars of the unknown and unseen, across the last confines of the limiting mind and the superconscious perilous borderline into the danger of the infinite. But if thou wilt not wait for time and God, do then thy work and force thy will on fate. As I have taken from thee my load of night, and taken from thee my twilight's doubts and dreams, so now I take my light of utter day. These are my symbol kingdoms, but not here can the great choice be made that fixes fate, or utter the sanction of the voice supreme. Arise upon a ladder of greater worlds, to the infinity where no world can be, but not in the wide air where greater life uplifts its mystery and its miracle, and not on the luminous peaks of summit climb, or in the cold where subtle matter's spirit hides in its light of shimmering secrecies. Can there be heard the eternal's firm command that joins the head of destiny to its veil? These only are the mediating links, not theirs is the originating site, nor the fulfilling act or last support that bears perpetually the cosmic pile. Who are the powers that hold the ends of time? Spirit foresees, matter unfolds its thought, the dumb executor of God's decrees, omitting no iota and no dot, agent unquestioning, inconscient, stark, evolving inevitably a charged content, intention of his force in time and space. Inanimate beings and inanimate things, immutably it fulfills its ordered task. It conceals not a title of things done. Unswerving from the oracular command, it alters not the steps of the unseen. If thou must indeed deliver man and earth, on the spiritual heights look down on life, discover the truths of God and man and world. Then do thy task, knowing and seeing all. Ascend, O soul, into that timeless self. Choose destiny's curve and stamp thy will on time.
We'll go on. Franz, will you read on? Franz, will you continue?
He ended and upon the falling sound, a power went forth that shook the founded spheres, and loosed the stakes that hold the tents of form. Absolved from vision's grip and the folds of song, wrapped from her sense like disappearing scenes, and the stupendous theater of space, the heaven worlds vanished in spiritual light. A movement was abroad, a cry, a word, beginningless in its vast discovery, momentless in its unthinkable return. Quiet in calm seas, she heard eternal thought, listening itself abroad unutterably, in spaceless orbits and untimeless worlds. In an ineffable world she lived fulfilled. An energy of the entire infinite, in a measureless reality she dwelt, a rapture and a being and a force, linked and myriad motion, plenitude, the virgin unity, the luminous stars, housing in multitudes and ways to marry all in God's immense delight, bearing the eternity of every spirit, bearing the burden of the universal love, a wonderful mother of unnumbered souls. All things she knew, all things imagined or built. Her ear was opened to ideal sound. Shape to convention bound no more her side. The thousand doors of oneness was her heart. The crypt and sanctuary of brooding light appeared, the last recess of things beyond. Then, in its rounds, the enormous sphere closed. Silence gave back to the unknown. All it had given. Still was her listening thought. The form of things had ceased within her soul. Invisible and perfect was it now. Around her some tremendous spirit lived. Mysterious flame around a melting pearl. And in the fathom of abolished space, there was a voice unheard by ears that cried, True Spirit, thy supreme choice not given again. For now for my highest being looks at thee, the nameless, formless peace, where all things rest. In a happy vast supreme cessation known, in an immense extinction in eternity, a point that disappears in the infinite, felicity of its extinguished flame, last sinking of a wave in a boundless sea, end of the travel of thy wandering thoughts, close of the journey of thy pilgrim soul, except for music, weariness of thy notes, and stream wide breaking of thy channel banks. Moments fell into eternity, and someone beyond his inner bosom, unknown, and silently the woman heard replied, Thy peace, O Lord, the room within to keep amid the roar and ruin of wild time, for thy magnificent soul of man on earth. Thy hand, O Lord, that bears thy hand of joy. Limitless like ocean around the lonely isle. The second time the eternal cry arose. Wide open are the ineffable gates in front. My spirit leans down to break the knot of earth. The laws of oneness without thought or sign, to cast down wall and fence to strip heaven bare. See with the large eye of infinity, unweave the stars into silence fast. in an immense and world-destroying powers, she heard a million creatures cry to her through the tremendous stillness of her thoughts. Immeasurably, the woman nature spoke. Thy wonders, Lord, in my approaching heart, my sweet infinity of thy numberless souls, mightily retreating like a sea in air. The third time swelled the great admonishing call. I spread abroad the refuge of my wings. Out of its incommunicable deeps, my power looks forth of mighty splendor still, into its might, majesty of sleep is blown, above the dreadful burning of the world. The soul of things was answer to the voice, and passionately the woman's heart replied, Thy energy, Lord, to seize on women and men, to take all things and creatures in their grief and gather them into a mother's arms, throw them in distant light, the seraph's will, and last great time the warning sound was heard. I opened the wide eye of solitude to uncover the voiceless rapture of my bliss. In pure and exquisite hush it lies, motionless in its slumber and ecstasy, resting from the sweet madness of the dance. Out of whose beat the drop and hearts was born. Waking the silence with appeal and cry, the hymn of adoration tireless climb, the music beat of winged, uniting souls. Then all the women yearningly replied, Thy embrace, which rends the living knot of pain, Thy joy, O Lord, in which all creatures breathe, Thy magic flowing waters of deep love, Thy sweetness give to me for all men.
Thank you. That is the climax of the poem, and a good place to pause for today, perhaps. After this comes the great prophecy of what Savitri's work and sacrifice will mean for the future of humanity, for all of us. We can keep it for another time. Shall we stop there for today? Thanks to Sri Aurobindo.
His slumber is awake, He is the eternal and supreme. Above was the holding place of the infinite. Its omniscient and omnipotent total. Its immovable silence, absolute and alone. We see the wideness of a boundless sky. We see the passion of a soulless earth. We see the burning of worldwide sun. To look upon each other, soul, soul, soul. Then, like an anthem, from the heart's lucent gate, a voice soared up, whose magic sound would turn the pulsant movement of the earth to songs of worship and her kind to spirit song. The smile came harping out in her wide eyes. Then, with a smile always as noonday heaven, the Godhead of the vision wonderful. How shall earth's nature and man's nature rise to the celestial levels, yet earth life? Oh friend, withdraw into thy luminous self, or turn to thy original night. On a sheer summit above thought and word, but Savitri answered to the ancient God, in vain thou temptest with solitary grief, two spirits saved out of a suffering world. Since God has made earth, earth must make in her God. What hides within her life, she must hold. breaking of the channel bank, and silently the woman's heart arrived. Like this, O Lord, a boon within thee, amid the horn of wild time, for the magnificent soul of man on earth. Limitless like ocean around the lonely eye, a second time the eternal eye, the whole wide open are the ineffable gates and far. Immeasurable the woman's nature spoke. Thy oneness, Lord, in many approaching hearts, a certain time swelled the great admonishing chord. I spied upon the shoot of my wings, the somber scenes was answer to the voice, and passionately the woman's heart arrived. The energy rose to seize on woman and man, to take all seeds and creatures in their grief, and gather them into a father's arms. Sorrow and distance, like the sailor's love, the last great time, the warning sound was heard. I opened the wide eye of solitude to uncover the voiceless laughter of my grief. Then all the wonderingly replied, thy embrace which ends the living knot of pain, thy joy